everyone, and welcome back to Viola's Trading Diary. And this week's video will be short because I just took one trade this week. I saw two other potential trades, but I didn't take them. I just took one. It ended up in a profit, a small profit, but still we are ending the week on the green. But let's see why I placed only one trade this week. Was I trying to be picky, or was I scared after last week? You tell me. Let's see. So let's jump first to the chart and see what the markets have done this week. And let's start with micro gold, and I will be reviewing everything this week on gold because the volume on silver dropped and the candles are also not printing perfectly, so I am not having enough data to place the proper trades. And very often when the candle is crossing, there's not so much volume. So I was still looking at silver, but I didn't see any proper trades on silver. However, I saw a couple of them on gold. But maybe as you remember, on gold, my strategy as for silver is working, but without volume, because volume is usually added a bit later. So usually we're not having that strong volume candle at the candle which is crossing the trend line. So let's see at the charts, and we can see that last week here we were in the range and we were trying to break to the downside very much, and we had got a very strong support resistance zone here. And finally here on Monday we were trying one more time to break through it. We had a small bounce from it, and then on Tuesday we finally broke the downside. And then we had got a small pullback to the upside, and here I was trying to place the trade. This was a potential, which I didn't take. Then on Wednesday, we had got a consolidation zone here. Then we had another push to the downside. And I think somewhere around here, there was my second potential trade. And then during the late London session, before New York session, we had another consolidation, which is so often happening, that afterwards we had another push. And then, as you know, on Wednesday we had got the interest rate decision in US and FOMC meeting, so that caused a bit of a chop here. And then on Thursday we started to push to the upside, and I caught this move here. So not the whole move, but it was very nice and very clean move, as you will see. And today we afterwards on Thursday still had got the chop from the beginning of the New York session. And now at the beginning, early London session, we started finally to push to the downside. However, I didn't place any trades today because in most countries, it's a Labor Day and it's a holiday. So a lot of stock markets around the world are closed, and I didn't have got any proper volume that I could base my decision on. So no trade on this move. But let's see first those two potential trades that I was talking to you about. So one here and one here. And then afterwards we will jump to that one here. So here we have got the first trade on Tuesday, and I draw a couple of trend lines, and we can see on Tuesday we had got this move to the downside, and then before New York session we finally make the bottom, we bounce from it, and during the New York session we tried that upward trend line again. Here we have a perfect bounce, so that was the first indication for me that, oh, maybe there is a potential trade. But at the same time we have got the trend line which I got the first point here, the second, third, and the fourth point here. So it was 4-point touch point trend line break, and my trade would be here. However, I wasn't sure because it was also a trend line break as well as a bounce, and as we see that candle has though a bigger volume, but it didn't close convincingly on the other side. So if I would enter here, my stop loss, the most tight stop loss would be here around $129 of loss with one contract, one micro contract, and $262 with the bigger wiggle room. However, I would probably place it here, and my take profit was potentially at the tops of that wicks, which was hit, and then the other potential, which would never be hit, was at the support resistant hairline. And that will be a short-lived trade, as you know, during the end of the New York session, the metals are quieting down and there is less volume, and very often the price is going nowhere. So let's look now on the other potential trade, which was happening on Wednesday. And here we are having another nice move on Wednesday during the London session. However, I didn't find any potential trades. Here could have been one, however, that candle, as we can see, it was not a beautiful candle, and we had got a break and retest, and I could have taken the trade at the bottom of that candle, but that risk was already quite big, so also not a great trade. And then we ended up after 9:30 UK time, which is happening very often, in consolidation. And during that consolidation, I was trying to find the moves, and I draw a consolidation box. So from the tops to the bottoms of the wicks, here we're having a consolidation box, which was very nice, and I was waiting until that box will be crossed. So we're moving that trend line as well. We're not having any more this trend line. From the top, we're having a support trend line towards those wicks here. So here we're having actually 1, 2, and 3 touch point a trend line. So that is very good. I haven't spotted that one when I was thinking about trading. However, we can see that after 12, we had got that move to the downside. So I was looking for shorts, and that move was accelerating. And I was thinking about placing the trade here when my alarm rang. However, it was an open candle, it closed on the other side, and even if it would close on the right side, it was a bit big risk to reward ratio, so I wasn't sure about that. And then afterwards, our good entry would be around here. That was a better point B here. We would have a steeper safety line here, so that would be good. And we can see that we're having a very strong candle which closes on the other side, and also the volume is very strong. So that is the perfect setup to take. And also, if we'll look at where we could place the TP, and for that we would need to go to the higher time frame, and as you can see, maybe there is this rectangle which is our consolidation. So at the end, at the bottom of this consolidation here is our position tool. So our take profit would be, I would say, around those areas. Here we can see that there is a bit of a support resistance, especially the wick here, and the push to the upside is very important. So yeah, those levels are very valid, and we can see that here the support resistance was tested many times. So if we'll zoom in, we can see that our take profit would be hit here. And that is a very beautiful trade, because not only we broke to the other side, but also we tested this box from the other side, and then we pushed to the downside. So that was the A+ trade that I haven't taken this week. But the one that I took was on Thursday, and it was here. So let's see in TradeZilla what have I done. And this trade was taken on evaluation, the new evaluation that I took. I still have the funded account, but I decided to not stress out about it because, well, I have now eternity to try to recover that account. So I should really take it patiently and find that really good low risk setups to get out of the drawdown, while if I want to place more trades, I can have an evaluation and I can place whatever trades I want. If they are higher risk or lower risk, when there is a setup, I can take it. So here we're having the one and only trade on this account. And here it's interesting because I took accidentally partials, and this is the first time ever that I took partials. And looking at the setup, we can see that if we look back, the setup is here. So here was, we were going down, here was our Wednesday potential trade, and then during FCMO nothing happened, and there was push to the upside during the Asian session, and then the end of the Asian session we were going to the downside. And what is very nice here, which I really loved, is that we had got this trend line here to the upside, and we were kind of going in a channel. This was almost an obvious channel, perfect, like up down. Here we almost bounced, we didn't bounce though. However, the other trend line which we had got 1, 2, 3 touch points, and then it broke. Even if we'll zoom in, we had got here the lowest low, and here we had got already the higher low, so that pivot points are higher than the previous one, so that is a great indication. And then we had got here a very strong candle. However, the volume here is not there. As I was telling you, sometimes in gold the volume is not following the candle, but the candle was beautiful, so I entered here. The risk was $155, so on the other side of that original trend line I gave a lot of wiggle room, and I went into this trade with 2 contracts, 2 micro gold contracts, and I entered, and this was my first trade on evaluation, so I wasn't sure where to get out. We had got a couple of support resistance zones. So here we had got one kind of support resistance around that level, and the price when it was going up here, where's the first red arrow, we stopped for a moment and we were trying that area. However, it doesn't look like that here, but I was a bit doubting if we'll go any further up. So I decided to exit the trade with 1 contract. My friend is doing the partials, so I was thinking, okay, let's just take some profits, and then I can maybe allow the price to go a bit more down if I will have got the pullback. And that was $70 here, so I was thinking afterwards, okay, so instead of placing my stop loss on break even, maybe I will allow the price to go $70 to the downside, because then I'm not losing anything, I'm still on break even. And that psychologically, it was so good, because I was able to hold the trade through all that pullback here, and then we're going slowly to the upside, and I decided to take profit at the support resistance zone here with 2 closest pivots here, but also we can see further there was definitely a support resistance here. So I closed just before the trend line was crossed, and also because it was just before the London Open, and during London Open you never know which direction that trend will go, if we'll go further up, which we did very beautifully, or we will completely reverse. So I wanted to be safe, I closed. The mistake here was that instead of closing it, I could have placed my stop loss and just trailed the stop loss through that support resistance zone, and if the candle would reverse the next one, then well, I'm getting a bit of less profits, but I know that that level is rejected. However, here if I would push, that level was never even tested and the price went up. But I am very happy about this trade because it was not only clean on the 5-minute time frame, but if we'll go even to 1 hour, we can see that we had got the push to the downside, and here we created the bottom and we started to go up. It was evident that we are trying to make a reversal, so I'm happy that I was patient. I was waiting for something like this instead of being stuck in consolidations that happened last week. I was waiting for a proper move down, then slightly creating the bottom and then reversing. And this is exactly what I want to wait for next week. And that's all for today, and I hope you enjoyed today's video, and let's see next week if I will be picky or if I will be scared. See you next time. Bye!